part of our Monday night call. I do have a great training tonight. I think a topic that we haven't really addressed before has to do with how we handle our time during the week. And so, I just feel like there's so much coming at us now from all directions, whether it be our activities on social media, or whether it be the amount of Zooms and webinars the company is bringing at us, and just all the information coming at us from all the different directions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I did make some slides there. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, and I'm hoping that you can see my slides. I will make them full screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, so again, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight, and this is the Monday night team training call. And like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about scheduling your time. One of the things I found is as we take this opportunity on, maybe you're already working full time, or maybe you have kids, or you're just juggling family. Everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. The way that we design our week can be huge. It can make things just flow very evenly, easily, or we can feel overwhelmed because we haven't planned. And so we're thinking there's a webinar here, and I got to follow up here, and I got to talk to this person. And I find if we don't have a system, what happens a lot of time is the time that we should spend doing the most important thing, which is reaching out to new people, bringing new people into our company, whether it be for products or as a distributor, just kind of falls by the wayside. And I think that's maybe human nature. It's the thing that you're least likely to do. So you'll do all the other things. We used to have a saying years ago, we used to make up a lot of flyers, and information was not as much through the internet as it was person to person. And so you'd make up a meeting flyer or whatever. And people would spend a great amount of time playing business on the computer as opposed to actually getting down to the work. So hopefully, with this type of scheduling, it will help you so that you're able to get through the week easily. And then we have all the time to do the things that we really want to do, because one of the major attractions of this business is people want more time freedom. Maybe one of the reasons you're involved, maybe you want to make more money, but I find it's more attractive for people to have time freedom, to be able to choose. And that's what's always been a hot button for Bobby and I, is the opportunity or the availability to work when we want, with who we want, and where we want. It's always been very powerful for us. And, obviously in this climate today with this virus going on, we're super thankful to be able to work from home, which, so many people want to do. But one of the first things we want to do is determine our goals. What are your goals for this business? Are you looking to just earn a little money to maybe pay for your products? Do you want to pay for a car? Do you want it to be a mortgage, a house? Or, do you want to be full-time in this business? So we really need to just decide briefly what our goals are.
Next for a password. It's an old Zoom. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, but the password thing, why don't I just keep going? You can email it out.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. People are asking for passwords, and Zoom has just rechanged all that around. So we'll certainly mail it out to anybody that doesn't get it. But anyway, so determine your goal, what it is, whether you want a car, a house, whatever it might be. But then go ahead and check with your sponsor and make sure, particularly if you're new in this industry, make sure that your goals are realistic. That you don't think, well, I'm going to work 3 hours a week and I'm going to earn $1 million a year or something. So we want to make sure that they're realistic to what you're planning on. And then also we're going to plan accordingly. And sometimes that means we have to give something up. I can remember when Bobby first got involved in this business, it was recommended that he give up softball. Well, he was already running a business all day long, and he wanted to play softball 4 nights a week. Well, what time did that leave for him to be able to build a business, nevertheless a business that would replace his income? So again, you may have to give up not watching as much TV at night. You may have to give up little things in order to get your business off, so that ultimately you can have all that time and freedom back once you get your business more established. So one of the things that I like to do is to get my tools ready, to get everything in order before I'm even going to start. And for me, my tools are a calendar, and I don't care if you're doing it online, paper, whatever it is, you need to have some kind of calendar. We're going to work with a scheduler, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. The scripts, which we have in our group, our training group, are there too. And then I use an activity tracker. And all this keeps me on track to just keep going along so that I can get everything done in a timely fashion. It doesn't allow me to get sidetracked or distracted by different things. So, I think time blocks are important. And once we understand what the three important aspects of our business are, and they change a little depending on how long you've been in business and how successful you've been in business. But, for everyone, and I've recently heard this, they say phase one, you're always in phase one. But, by phase one, we just mean you're always out there looking for new people. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. Bobby and I, 28 years, phase one is still the one thing you do all the time. You're always looking for new customers, new distributors, for a whole lot of reasons. One, it fuels your business. You want to have more people that are involved, more people that are excited, keeps us excited, keeps our stories active and fresh. So, that's the number one thing for everyone is we want to be finding new customers, new distributors. But then follow-up is very important. And there are whole trainings on follow-up and how important follow-up is. And you need to be doing your follow-up just to be able to, follow up with people and allow them the time to get involved. So, we've talked about touches before. So following up just means continually following up with people or dripping on people till they get enough information, till they make a business decision. And then team growing. As your team grows, there'll be certain team growing activities, mainly helping new people get started that are going to be very important too. But those are the three in order of how they need to be done. And so what we want to do is we want to set some work hours and activities in those hours. And we really want to understand when we're going to do this and how we're going to do this. And again, this is not a business where you need to spend a lot of time. But if you get to work and do your work, and it's so attractive when you're on the computer and maybe so easy to go down some avenue of looking at things or things of interest that have nothing to do with our business. And so this training is meant to keep you more on track so that you get your business activities done so that you have that time to play. And then if you decide after you want to, go through Google and find out all different things and stuff, fine. But we want to make sure that we get our work done because, again, people don't have a lot of time. People are busy juggling jobs and family and stuff. So we want to make our time count as best we can. So when will you work? Okay. You need to decide, and this is very personal. So there are times where you will never work. So for Bobby and I, we're not skipping a Sunday morning church. That's in our plans. That's just what's important to us. But for you, maybe it's a baseball game. There was a time when Chad played baseball that, that was we scheduled so much of our business around his baseball schedule. And I wouldn't say never, but it was like almost never would we miss unless it was a regional conference or, a national conference or a global conference or something super big that, would have trumped what we were doing at that point. So, you're going to have to decide never. Maybe your family time, maybe your family meets every Wednesday evening for dinner and that's just a no-go. You can't miss that. So, you'll decide when never is, but then there also has to always be an always. Maybe you'll work if you're doing a family dinner on Wednesday, maybe you'll always work on Mondays and Tuesday nights because you work your other job during the day. Or maybe you're a mom. I can remember early on when my boys were younger, when they came home from school between 3 and 5, I never worked. My attention was on them as they came through the door and they had homework and everything they were doing, looking at their projects that coming in with awards and pictures and stuff. And so I felt like that was such valuable time. I never wanted to work then, but then I would make sure that after dinner, I spent more time on my business. After they had kind of retired for the evening and went to bed, that's when I would spend my time. Or all day during the day when they were at school, that's when I spent my time because it allowed me to be able to drive them to school, go to school functions if there was something going on. It gave me a lot of availability. So, but I would always make sure, and today I'm still very regimented. I will always try to be in my office other than a tennis day. Try to be in my office by 9. I try to keep regular business hours 9 to 5. That doesn't mean that I don't stay later sometimes and work in the evenings and stuff, but I'm very regimented with my business. And so that's how you're going to get the most out of it. And then you have sometimes might be a Saturday morning if the company is got a training going on or you're asked to do a training. You know, maybe it's a rainy Sunday afternoon and there's nothing else going on. So, you know, sometimes I will work a Sunday afternoon. So, you know, that really depends, but you have to really kind of define your never, your always, and your sometimes, so you know what your working hours are and how many are they going to be. You know, how will you work it? Are you working Facebook? Are you working, you know, social media? Is it person to person? You know, are you doing some kind of ads? Or are you running emails? Or, you know, what are you doing? What are the activities? And you need to define that so that you're not all over the place, so that when you do sit down to work, that you're like, all right, I'm going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And you're not planned to be productive at that point. So again, what we're trying to do is just get productive. And so I want to show you a schedule that I use, and I use parts of this. So, you know, where it says daily, weekly tasks, there's a morning ritual that a lot of people use. So for me, it's not all those things, but it is, you know, it is some Bible reading. It is working out. So I've got my own morning routine that I've always done that has been very effective to me. But then as far as working my business via social media, via Facebook these days, it's been sending happy birthday messages out. And this is what I call warming up Facebook. So friend anniversaries I'll do. I will comment on my wall. I will comment on stories. You know, I'll reach out and comment in some groups. And, you know, I will message some people. All that does is warm Facebook up so that when you do a post, more people are likely to see that post. And I will add 5 new friends every day, and I will message those friends. And so there's a whole system. But having a tracker like this just means I go down and I check the things that I know that I do, and it keeps me very much on track. So, you know, maybe your activity tracker won't look anything like this. Maybe it'll look something like this, but you figure out what works for you so that when you do sit down, it's a matter of birthday messages, check. Friend messages, check. 5 comments, check. 3 ATMs, check. You know, so you just go through it, do, and then you're done with your work, and you're not spending a whole lot of time. The other thing is you've kind of done your work, but you're not so personally engaged with everything too, because, you know, again, Facebook is meant to just be a numbers game. And so, you know, I will use an activity tracker just, you know, just like this one I do. But I use my planner. And so like even tonight, as things got towards later in the day, people that I need to call to follow up with, that was put in my planner so that I know that that needs to get done. It can be follow up to people that we are personally recruiting. It could be posts that I need to put into the different groups. It may be, you know, as we're running challenges, who's winning those posts and getting out prizes. It could be calls to downline. Calls to downline during our environment right now are super, super important. So you want to make those calls to people and stay in touch with everyone. I can't stress it enough. Communication is important always with your organization. You have to make those calls. So, you know, you may set, maybe you have a smaller downline, so you'll say 1 person a day I'm going to follow up with, or 1 person 3 times a week or something. You'll figure out whatever you want to do, but you do need to make those calls to people in your downline. 3-way calls. You have to schedule your 3-way calls. When are you going to be able to do 3-way calls? And go ahead and help your organization with that. Could be trainings to our team that we need to schedule. Could be company trainings and webinars, you know, whether it be the Tuesday night opportunity meeting or the Saturday training that they're doing these days. Or it could be learning for yourself to grow. We've done a lot of growth in the last 2 years with what we're doing on social media, because we're of an age where they didn't even have social media, internet. When we started in multi-level marketing or network marketing, the phone was still attached to the wall. So we've had a lot of learning to do, but, you know, we're continually learning so that we can get better at just being better at our business. So, but you have to schedule time for that. There has to be time that you're scheduling in so that you know what you're going to do, that you're going to get all these different things done. But the scheduling is what's going to keep you on track. So again, whether you do it on your phone, you do it on paper, it doesn't really matter, but you should have that scheduling in order. And then all you're going to be able to do is just go and check off every activity and then move on. And then you'll be surprised how much you're able to get done, and you're not thinking about who I need to follow up with. What was that conversation about? When am I supposed to follow up? If you keep yourself organized, you'll find that you're just able to, you know, I don't want to say plow through, but you'll have to move through all of this work that you need to very effectively easily. You'll be more productive. You'll get that much more done, and you'll have that much more of a bigger business. And you won't be stressed with thinking that there's so much coming down on you, because you will have scheduled everything, and it'll make life a lot easier. So I hope that was an easy training. I know we had a little problem with people getting on the Zoom and stuff. So, but Bob will go ahead and email that out. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight.